training split is dividing your sessions throughout the week in order to maximize your goals. And I'm not going to BS you here. The problem with most splits are the people who are using it. You are structuring and controlling your own split, but 90% of the time the split is controlling, structuring the people that leads to suboptimal training for their own specific goals. When it comes to training splits, there are a few things to consider. How many times you are going to train? What's your primary focus in terms of muscle? And what's the amount of volume what you can recover from? And there is the fourth one, what nobody mentions, but I believe it's super important. What is it that you enjoy doing? Yeah, I guess you forgot about that one, right? Well, let's go over the general stuff. And after that, the splits. So you can pick the best fit for your individual goals. Frequency, how many times you are going to the gym. Once you know that you are going to commit to the gym 4 times, it is going to be easy to pick the best splits for you. For example, if it's upper, lower, then you can just repeat that twice. So there's going to be upper, lower. Or if it's push, pull, leg, it can be a push, pull, leg and any. That can be arms, shoulders, legs, whatever you feel like you want to focus on. So that's going to be the primary focus. If, there's a smaller muscle, by all means, you can increase the frequency, the volume, give it another exercise just so you are hitting in a different angle and so on. Or if we look at full body, you can either do it 4 times per week, just different variations, or you can do it 3 times, full body, and then any day. You can just chuck it in there. Your primary focus. Pick a split that allows you to give maximal attention to what you want to train. This doesn't apply to beginners because they won't know what's going to grow or what is going to respond better to training. But once you pass that stage, you can be very critical with your own physique. You can look into the mirror and say, okay, my lats are not growing as much. My triceps is not as big as I want it to be, and so on. And generally, this is never just one muscle. This will be multiple muscles. And most of the time you have to place this at the top of your training, give it different exercises so you can hit it in different angles, lengths, and you can give it maximal volume that you can still recover from. This is going to be a massive thing. What you will need as an intermediate if you ever want to pass that point, and mastering it is usually taking a very long time. We can even talk about years. But that's completely fine because you have that much time anyway. And now we go to the third point. What is the amount of volume you can recover from? And this is where the confusion starts. Your body, just in general, is going to have a very different recovery ability compared to someone else in the gym. Or even it can be your parents. Not to mention, if you are comparing yourself to someone who is on the juicy vitamins, that's going to be completely different. What I'm trying to get is that you shouldn't copy someone else's training or anything. Instead, you have to learn yourself first. But in most cases, guys generally want bigger arms, ladies usually want bigger glutes. The main difference is going to be how fast these muscles are recovering. There will be some individualism at play. For a long time, people believe that smaller muscles are recovering quicker, but in most cases, it is going to be the opposite. For example, biceps being really small, yet it's so susceptible to damage that its recovery is not so great. And some people say that delts are small muscles so you can hammer it, but in fact, that's the largest muscle on your upper body. And I know that your girlfriend said that size doesn't matter, the big ones hurt anyway. But it actually does. But only in terms of activating them. You can voluntarily activate your biceps easily, but if you are talking about your lats, that's a completely different example. But then why is it even important? Well, if you can activate something, then it's easier to damage it. And if something is damaged, it has to be recovered. And you already know that damage is not related to hypertrophy, so you can cause the most amount of damage to your muscles, you're still not going to grow because it's only mechanical tension. It's not the damage. The damage is just a byproduct what your body has to clear up. And the last thing is going to be the joint range. If you are training something at long muscle length or at the stretch position, that's going to be damaged more easily. I'm not saying that it is definitely going to be damaged, it just means that it's easier to give it damage and that has to be repaired. So this is just one thing to keep in mind when you are structuring and programming your own split with high frequency. So in practice, how does it look like? Let's take a look at your quads. Can you easily contract it and activate it? Yeah, we can say yes, you can. But is there an exercise where you can excessively use it? for example, squat. No. I mean, the glutes are in there, quads are working for sure, but it's not just your quads. What about the leg press? Even if you place your foot lower down, it is still going to be some glutes in there, so still no. Leg extension, yeah, you can definitely excessively use it, but it's training it at a short position. There's not going to be much damage there. So the conclusion is that the quads can be trained very frequently and they are going to recover from that. But the problem is that they rarely get trained frequently. But now that these are out of the way, let's look at the splits to pick for hypertrophy and hypertrophy only. We don't care about powerlifting or strongman or anything here, just muscle building. Upper and lower split. We can go over the upsides and downsides, but let's be honest, they are in your control and not in the split's control, as we went over all of these. So there is not going to be such thing as too many big muscles to train, it's difficult to recover from this, because all of these are in your hand, as in you are structuring this split. You can use this split if you like training upper body and lower body separated days. And there are no rules. If you want to go to the gym 4 times, then it's just a simple rotation like upper, lower. But you can go there 3 times. It's going to look like upper, lower, or you can start with lower, upper, lower. At the end of the day, after 2 weeks, it is still going to rotate the same way. But the thing is, people believe that you can't do more than 4. But in fact, you can even do 4, 5, 6, or even 7. There are literally no rules. However you like to use it, and it's you who is going to program it. Remember, whatever is your focus, how many times you are committed to the gym, and what's the amount of volume you can still recover from and make progress. If you want to start with arms, by all means, you can put it at the top of your training and start with that, so you can give it your maximum attention and improve it more. And then the question is, isn't it going to be too much beating for the joint, too much volume? Look, you are programming it. You don't have to give every exercise 3 to 5 sets. You can just give it 1 to 3. You can still recover from that. It's not the split. If something is wrong with it, it's going to be you. If it doesn't work, you can't just go around experimenting. You have to go in, see, and then correct the mistakes. Push-pull leg split. Super popular, and I can understand why. Some people say that you can only do 5 days as in push-pull leg upper lower, or 6 days as in a 2 rotation push-pull leg with probably different variation. You can keep the same, but that's going to be really boring. But guess what? You can use it 5 times per week as in push-pull leg, push-pull. Next week comes leg, push-pull, leg, and so on. So it is going to be a full rotation. It doesn't have to finish. There is no rule saying that within a week you have to do all of these, or something is going to happen with your body, because the body doesn't operate on a week, or at least on a weekly basis. But let me make it even better. Let's say that the core is push-pull leg. There is no rule. You can put in an arm day, leg day, shoulder day, whatever is your focus, as long as you have the core. It doesn't matter what's the other 2 or 3 days. And you can also do it 7 times per week, and it can be push-pull leg, push, and then so on. Or you can just add in any day. It can be arm, shoulder, whatever. You should tailor your own split. Don't let the split tailor you. And everything else I just said before that, recoverable volume, frequency, how many times you go to the gym, and what you want to focus on, all of these are in your control. I also believe that this is a programming friendly split, and I wouldn't just tie it down and say that only experienced or advanced lifters can use it, because everybody can. The repeated bout effect is going to kick in whether you are an advanced lifter, intermediate, or a beginner. Moving on to the last split, and it's going to be a full body one. I have run this program for about 7 months just to improve certain lifts, and it wasn't a conventional way. It looked like this: full body 1, arms, full body 2, legs, full body 3. So it was a 5-day split, but you can easily make it into 4, 5, 6, 7. There are no rules, and you can make it into full body each day, or you can just give it some full body and then put in some smaller muscle groups here and there. But in my experience, if someone doesn't have the understanding, the level of knowledge for programming, then this can cause a lot of confusion. what to program there, what to program here. This is definitely not a beginner-friendly split in terms of structuring your training. But this has a major pro that you can improve certain lifts with frequency. When I wanted to hit 100 kilogram bench press, I use this split so I can bench press 3 times per week. And this, at least we know that strength can be enhanced if you are doing it more frequently. And it's actually true. And it didn't actually hinder my performance in terms of hypertrophy. As you can see, there are still no rules. How many times you are committed to the gym? Check. What's your focus? For me, that was bench press. Check. Am I enjoying this split? Yes, I like the fact that it was a mixed day. I didn't just have to do legs or upper body. It was a mix of things. And then here and there was like different days. But other than that, as in improving certain lifts, I never touched this split because I feel like this is not what I want to do. If I'm in the zone to do legs, then I just prefer doing legs. And if I'm in the zone to do upper body, I'm in the zone to do that as well. If you can structure a really good one without overusing certain exercises that can lead to overuse injuries, then this is going to be a really good split. But most people can't do that, and it's completely fine because it's not a beginner friendly one. But as you can see, you can use any split you want. It's not like, oh, this is an advanced, this is a beginner. All of them are going to work because you are going to structure it, tailor it, and control the split based on what you need at that moment of time. So if you learned something, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what split you are using right now because I'm curious about that. Talk to you soon.